Alright, I'm going to do a short garden tour here. I'm just going to go through all the trees quickly because there's too many. I have a lot of trees growing. I don't know how many, I've lost track, 150 or so. Anyway, but I haven't done an update in a while, and I'll do a quickie update. They're all doing okay. A few are thriving, and that's the stuff that's easy to grow. I'm gonna do a quickie tour here of the trees. I won't go into detail about each one. I'll do that on a future video as these trees progress, or as this season progresses. It's, late April, so everything's starting to, should be doing its thing now. So anyway, I'll get going with the video. I guess I'll start right here where I'm at. This right here is a Bariba tree. It's pretty big. It's about 12 to 13 feet tall. It's got flowers this year for the first time. They're real tricky. There's male and female flowers. Here are some right here, if I can hold it up to look. Those little 3 star looking things are the flowers. The female are green, the male turn yellow. And they have to pollinate each other. The trick I learned is, and I haven't done it properly, is you got to prune the tree so that the branches grow into each other, so they're rubbing on each other to get it to pollinate. If you look up it, you'll see quite a few little flowers. I don't know if you can see on video or not. They're little they almost look like a little 3-leaf star. Anyway, this is the Bariba tree. It's growing good, but tricky to get fruit. They don't need another tree to fruit. They just you need to pollinate the male to the female flowers on the tree itself. I'll kind of cruise around it here and look at it. A better view, see if I can get a better look at some of these flowers on it. They're hanging down underneath. I don't know if any fruit's going to set or not, because I don't know if they're getting pollinated properly. But it's a pretty big tree, pretty close to it right now. And over here is a mango. That's an Alfonso. They don't do so good here. It had some flowers on it and the beginnings of fruit for its first time, but I think it all fell off. This one's a black Sapote. It's doing really well. It's got some fruit on it for the first time. I don't know if it's going to set. These are the little fruits. A lot of them have been falling off. It's got flowers on it. There's a bunch on there. These are the little flowers. Right there. There's a bunch falling on the ground. But some are staying, so I don't know. I might have my first fruit on this year. I'm not sure. That's another look at the Bariba. And over here, that's a lemon. It's Eureka lemon. Back there is a pineapple. Back there on the fence are blackberries. This is a dragon fruit. It's doing really well. They do seem to do well in pots. I don't know why. They do better in a pot than they do in the ground. It won't have flowers till late summer. This is my Blackberry vine, thornless blackberry, and it's got quite a few fruit just starting on it. We've had a really crummy weather. Last winter wasn't very cold, but it was a late, long cool spell. That's another lemon tree. That's a coconut. It's just starting out. I got it really small, so it's got a few years to go, I'm sure. This is a star fruit, and it already bore fruit once last winter, actually. And it looks like it's gonna fruit again because I saw some flowers on it. It's pretty big. It's about 8-9 feet tall. This is a ruby red guava. It's got some flowers on it. They don't look too good, but I haven't got fruit off of this yet. It might have some fruit this year. Back here I got some more dragon fruit. I just put in I have so many dragon fruit, I don't know what to do with them, so I just stuck them in the ground back here and figured I could grow them on that fence. See what happens. This is a Keat mango. It does pretty well, although this year it's not very good. Last year it did really well. This year it has half the amount of fruit, and I think it has to do with our weather, but it is fruiting and it's a good tree. Let me get out of here. I've got a grapevine right there, if you can see it, and I got fruit on it the first year, so I'll see what happens this year. It's just coming out right now. This is the star cherry, Suriname cherry. This thing just absolutely exploded this year. I can't believe how much fruit it had. It's almost over and done. I've been picking cherries off of that every day. I've probably picked 40, 50, or 60 cherries off of it, and it's got 20 or 30 still on it. They're starting to get smaller because it couldn't handle that much, but it probably had, I don't know, 150 to 200 cherries. You can see them all over the ground. It's absolutely loaded. It did really good. This is another mango tree, a young one that I started from seed, and I can't remember what variety it is. Can't remember. This is a new tree, new start of a mulberry. That tree right there is a nectarine. It's a great, big, beautiful tree. And it had a few blossoms this year, about 10 or 15, but I've never seen fruit on it. But it's growing very well. I don't remember what variety it is. It's another Florida hybrid from the University of Florida. This is another dragon fruit stand. It usually does pretty well. It doesn't look very good right now. I don't know why. I think it's our weather. So, but they grow good in containers. That's just a little raised garden bed that I got some tomatoes and some cucumbers and some bok choy growing in. Another raised garden bed that's just about done. I had lettuce in there. So lettuce season's over here in Florida. You can't grow it in this hot summer unless you have a greenhouse and special conditions. What's left is some green onions, some parsley, some cilantro. That's a ice cream banana. I already harvested that about a month ago or so. So that's the new pup coming up. It's another raised bed. I have some peppers and tomatoes. I got jalapenos, sweet Italian, and 2 varieties of tomatoes. These are yellow bell tomatoes and little cherry tomatoes. And it's just loaded with them. Loaded with tomatoes. So it's doing really good. This is what I've found the best way to try to grow vegetables here for me in Florida is in a raised planter. Florida's a tricky place to grow produce. Very tricky. You go for long dry spells for months. We haven't had rain in months. At least 3 months, 4 months. And then you'll get a flooding downpour. So it's just extremely difficult to do. This tree back here is it's an Atamoya. It's a plum, Brazilian plum, I think. It produces a lot of fruit. Not the best fruit though. I not particularly like it, but that down there is a loofah. I'm growing loofah again this year. Just starting out. It'll cover this whole trellis I built here. It won't have fruit until about July. This is a tropical walnut that's just starting out. It's about 3 feet tall. It's growing very well. It's pretty happy. So it's a young tree. Just starting out, but it seems like it's in a good spot and doing good. This tree here is a pomegranate. This one. And I haven't seen it flower or fruit yet. It's on its 3.5 years, 4 years now. So I'm kind of waiting on it. This is another ice cream banana. I have 2 or 3 of them growing here. That's a moringa that's growing out of sight. I pruned it up because the branches, I kept hitting my head on the branches cruising around the yard, so I pruned it. And now it's just growing out of sight. They're good filtered shade, and then of course, you know, edible. Oh, this over here is another bariba that's not as good. It almost died on me a couple times, but it's surviving. It's not in the best of condition, but it's living. That's a mango, and I forget what variety. I think it's one of the Vietnamese mangoes that somebody gave me. This is a Soursop guanana banana. It's doing good. I haven't got fruit on it yet. Still waiting for its first fruit. Papaya. I cut it down once. I cut it, and now it's growing right back. This is another look at the pomegranate. It's actually the best I've ever seen the pomegranate. The best it's ever looked. So maybe it will do something this year, I'm not sure. This is a strawberry guava. And it's loaded with little fruit. This is another bariba. Again, I've never had fruit on it. It's growing okay, but it's the second best one. It's better than the other one I just looked at, but it's got a fruit on it right there. There's one right there. This is another Alfonso Mango. A tough one to grow here, I found out. I should have never got an Alfonso. They don't like the soil here. So it's just living but not producing. This is a lychee. It's flowered for the first time this year. It's got a lot of flowers on it and some little tiny fruits forming. I can go over here and look right there. That's my first time I've seen flowers and little baby fruit on this lychee. Whether they set or not, I don't know. And then over here is avocado. I forgot what variety it is, but it's got a lot of avocados on it. It had 3 times as much, and they all dropped off. It dropped a whole bunch of them. A lot. I mean, it must have had 150 on there, at least 200. And now it's kind of thinned itself out, and some fruit is holding. So whether that holds or not, I don't know. I'll see. There's the little baby avocados on it. But a lot of them fall off. So I've been doing a little research, and I might be lacking in potassium. I'm not sure if that's what it is or not. Cruise over here. This is another ruby red guava that just grew out of control. It's huge. The tree is 15 feet tall and 15 feet wide. I lost control of this tree. It's happy there. Why? I don't know. It's just something's right. Everything's right. It's just massive. And I'll wait till it fruits this year, and then I'm going to prune it back because it's totally out of control. You can't even get to all of it. It's so big. These are some jackfruits that I'm trying to grow. I started them from seed, so they're seed starts, and they're growing, but very, very slowly. I mean, they've hardly grown a couple inches since I've put them in the ground. I mean, they're staying alive, but they're not thriving. And I've done everything, and down in the ground I put a bunch of mulch and did it all right, but I don't know. They're kind of just hanging in there. Just hanging in there. This is another avocado. I think it's a Haas. And it's doing pretty good. I've yet to see fruit on this tree. Over here I've got 2 more jackfruit. I'm trying them in a different area. They're kind of semi-shade. They're in the shade right now, but they get sun, partial sun, and they seem to be growing better in the partial shade, believe it or not, than in the ones in the full sun. So, go figure. I don't know. They like it over here better. These are growing better than those other 2 I just looked at that are been in the ground twice as long. And over here I've got 3 jabuticabas. There's a little one right there that almost died on me, but it's coming back. And then there's another one right there. And then there's the biggest one of the 3 right here. And I had them in pots for a long time, for at least 2 years, 3 years. And I put them in the ground about a year ago. And this one's doing the best. They're a slow growing tree. So I'm just trying to be patient with them. I think they're 4 years old now. This is a Valencia Pride mango. It's historically done pretty good. This year it didn't have much fruit. This might be an off year for mangoes, I don't know. But I think it's got only 1 or 2 on it. This, I don't know what this tree is. It's the only tree that was here when I got this place. It's some sort of citrus. It might be an orange. I'm not sure. And it was almost dying. It was down there about a foot tall and dying. And I've nursed it back, so it's growing. It's not healthy as can be, but it's growing. This is another seed start mango. I can't remember the variety. It might be a Kent, or an El Tufo. I don't remember. It's growing very well. This is a Peruvian lime. It almost died on me a few years ago, but it's coming back. So it's growing better now. This is I think this is a Kent mango, if I'm not mistaken. And it's got its first fruits for a little tree. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or 11 fruit on it. So it's looking pretty good. Hopefully the squirrels don't get it. That's another couple of ice cream bananas growing back there. Bananas grow like weeds here. The easiest things to grow in Florida are bananas, papayas, mangoes, and star fruit. You don't have to do a thing to them and they grow. The rest of this stuff is a little tricky. Back here is another coconut. Behind it is a peanut butter tree. Let's see if I can get over to it. That's the lime. That's another coconut. And that's a peanut butter tree that a friend gave me. Right there. And it's doing okay. I just put it in the ground a few weeks ago. It was in a pot. Another view of the strawberry guava. There's some of the fruit. That's another view of the bariba. Difficult, rare, odd trees to grow. You don't see many of these around. And I'm going to take care of them after they're done flowering. If they fruit this year, if they do, then I'm going to start working on pruning them so that they grow into each other and kind of mix into each other. And that's the trick to them that I found out. This is the other little raised bed I have going. This is all full of spinach and cilantro and mint. And that's called a little Sicily tomato. It's a great tomato plant. I just picked a huge one off it the other day. It's a little miniature plant, but boy does it put out. It's full of tomatoes. You can see them back in there. And it's got blossoms all over it, so it's doing really good. And this is garlic that I planted. I just had some garlic in the house and I stuck it in here and it's growing. So that's that little plant. This is my little mango experiment. There's 10 mango trees in here that I started all from seed, from people that give me mangoes from different parts of Florida neighborhoods. And they don't know what the trees are. They just go, I don't know, it's a mango. So if it's an old mango, it's probably a Kent or a Keat or a Glen, because they didn't have very many varieties back then, 30, 40 years ago. So, and they're all seed starts. So I'm just playing around with them to see what they do. Around front, more dragon fruit, a lemon tree, more star cherries that I've started from seed, more star cherries. That's a pineapple, dragon fruit, another mango tree, seed start. This is a plum, Scarlet Beauty. That's a hybrid, University of Florida hybrid. That's another mango seed start, another mango seed start that I play around with. I think I have 21 mango trees. I'm not sure, I lost count, but it's around 21. Anyway, that's the Scarlet Beauty plum. This is a Grand Nain banana. That's a goji berry in the pot. That's a key lime down there in the ground. This is another Scarlet Beauty plum. These are some tomatoes I got growing. That's a fig. I think it's a brown turkey. That's another star cherry. That's a loquat. Another dragon fruit stand. Another fig. Another mango tree, seed start. That little citrus tree, I can't think of the name right now, I just forgot it. Got a blank. Another seed start mango. Another seed start mango. Another rainforest plum. Another banana tree. That's a miracle fruit. That produces really good. It just got like 30 off of it a month ago, so it'll fruit again. That's a mangosteen. Slow growing. Waiting on it. That's the loquat. That's another mangosteen and another guava. That's a lemon tree. That's another jackfruit that's out in the full sun. That tree was given to me from a friend in Northport. So I don't know what it's doing. It's growing, but very slow. That's a sugar apple, a red sugar apple. And that's that mango, and that's that dragon fruit. So that's it. That's a quickie tour of what's growing here. Bananas won't stop growing. They just constantly grow and push up pups. I got bananas coming out of my ears I don't know what to do with. That's a garden tour.